In August 2026, Microsoft released its monthly Patch Tuesday update. In a single day, they dropped over 400 security fixes across Windows, Office, and Azure, the largest volume in the company's history. This chart shows how that compares to the past. For years, the volume stayed within a predictable range, peaking at 289 in early 2025. But this August, the data aggressively spikes. It's a mass release designed to clear out years of accumulated security debt in one move. Within that mass of updates, one specific point glows red. This is CVE 2026-68820, a zero-day vulnerability in the Windows WinSock driver that the Lazarus Group has been using to compromise targeted systems in the wild. Microsoft confirmed its rapid response team patched Azure servers within 48 hours. But for the rest of the ecosystem, the sheer volume of 400 CVEs is a logistical nightmare. It signals a shift away from gradual releases, as internal teams focus on purging vulnerabilities from aging legacy code. This sudden scramble to fix the past is happening because resources are being diverted elsewhere. The industry's primary focus and its capital is currently locked in a massive race to build out new physical infrastructure. That focus shifted into high gear on August 10th when NVIDIA announced strategic partnerships with 6 of Wall Street's largest financial institutions. Together, they aim to mobilize over $500 billion to fund independent AI compute infrastructure. This funding enables a turnkey rental model. Instead of a mid-sized company paying $30 million cash to buy 1,000 H100 GPUs, they can simply rent the compute power they need and pay for it through a monthly subscription. For these investors, AI infrastructure is no longer just high-tech hardware, it's a physical asset class. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink compared it to investing in airports or office buildings, projecting stable annual returns between 8 and 12%. While NVIDIA builds on the ground, SpaceX is industrializing the orbit. By August 11th, they completed their 93rd launch of 2026, delivering 29 more Starlink satellites to a constellation that now exceeds 6,200 active units. By manufacturing most components internally and reusing boosters like the B-1085, which has now flown 5 times, SpaceX has compressed the cost of reaching orbit to under $1,500 per kilogram. The goal is exactly the same in both sectors. Technology is moving away from selling one-off software tools and toward a model where the physical layer of the economy is built, owned, and rented out to everyone else. Because these infrastructure projects represent hundreds of billions in debt, they require massive, predictable utilization to remain viable. This creates a financial incentive for companies to steer their entire user base toward these new platforms. Google Gemini reached 1 billion active users in just 18 months, making it the fastest-growing product in the company's history. Much of that growth was driven by its new role as the default assistant in Android 15, integrated directly into the OS. OpenAI is following a similar path with its new Linux desktop app. By supporting specific distributions like Ubuntu and Fedora, they are placing their Codex engine directly into the server and development environments that power the web. Unlike GitHub Copilot, which is confined to specific coding editors, the ChatGPT desktop app is IDE independent. It's a strategic move to capture market share by becoming a native part of the developer's operating system. This level of integration makes it difficult to measure how much of this growth is based on product preference versus the convenience of a default setting. In 2026, the size of a user base is increasingly tied to how inescapable the software is. This push toward new integrated ecosystems is where the decay of legacy software, the 400 patches we saw earlier, becomes a financial lever. Microsoft's pricing for Windows 10 extended security updates shows how this works. Year 1 costs $61 per device. Year 2 doubles to $122. By year 3, it hits $244. For an organization with 1,000 devices, that aggregates to $427,000 over 3 years, just to keep systems safe, with no new features. These costs are a deliberate financial weapon. By making the maintenance of old software mathematically impossible for most budgets, Microsoft is effectively forcing the migration to Windows 11 and its modern cloud integrations. The only exceptions are for home users, where public backlash led Microsoft to offer free extension paths for incompatible hardware. But for the enterprise world, the window is closing. Innovation has reached a point where the status quo is no longer free. Between the rising price of security and the shift to rented infrastructure, the choice isn't between old and new, it's between a legacy that grows more expensive every day and a future of recurring costs.